This only works if you have respect for your readers, if you have to say, we have respect for what you will say about the theatre, or about the environment, or about music, or about these travel venues. And we also believe it to be true that one Guardian reader would judge the opinion of another Guardian reader and take that seriously. So the Guardian reader now becomes a factor in what it is to be the Guardian. So I think what I'm talking about, and what John was describing there, is taking down the walls that existed through the reasons of technology. What newspapers did was to throw newspapers. What journalists did was to throw newspapers. In my imagery, in my head, they threw newspapers over a very high wall at the readers, and they were a bit careless about what happened on the other side of the wall where they landed. And brick by brick, we've been taking down those walls and establishing a completely different relationship with the readers, with the people who they're writing about, with people who can contribute to the paper. And about how open is a word that you had to unpack, describe, work out what it means. But that journalism itself is then a word that you have to examine and work out what journalism has become, is becoming, and whether there are these new forms of journalism, including interactive graphic novels and data visualizations. If I just pause on data for a second, because data, again, most newsrooms 5 years ago, there was nobody who did data or understood data. And now data is one of the most interesting and rich areas of journalism. And the people who can do it can transform your coverage. It is part of open journalism, that you can write a story, you can do an interactive, but whatever you do, you share the data behind it so that other people can come in and use that same data and do interesting things with it. And quite often, they will visualize it for you. The people who are most interested in the data will take away your data, visualize it, and send it back for you. So that is the story of open journalism on The Guardian. And this is where it has taken us. So when we started out on this exercise, The Guardian was the 9th biggest paper in the UK in print. It's always had a long, distinguished, glorious history of The Guardian, but it's always been a very niche player, even within British journalism. And we are now, if you take away the Mail Online, which is doing something slightly different in journalism, it's really The Guardian and the New York Times who are neck and neck in terms of the world now. And that is a position that I think Guardian journalists, even 15 years ago, could not have imagined.